welcome back to another episode of Level Up. I am your hostess, Wendy Nolin. I want to talk about a hot topic this week, which is what to do when someone doesn't respond to your email. That's a hot topic, isn't it? Because I bet everyone watching right now can relate to this scenario. Maybe you've sent what you consider to be a fairly important email and never got a response. I know it never happens, right? Not even so much as an acknowledgement that the email was received. And I bet as a professional, you've probably never sat on an email from someone who was waiting for you to respond and didn't respond for hours, days, weeks, or at all. I'm sure you've never done that. Come on. I've done that. Of course, we've all done that. And there are various reasons why. In this particular episode, I want to talk about a client that I've been working with who went through this exact scenario. He had sent two pretty important emails, neither of which got so much as an acknowledgement. Then, in the same breath of telling me his frustration about these emails not being acknowledged, he then admits that he's sitting on an email that he needs to respond to as well. I know. It's really interesting, this conundrum. So, what did I tell Devin? I'll tell you what I told him. What I advised Devin to do is the same thing that I think you should do, which is, if you're the person not responding, ask yourself, one, why aren't you responding? What are you avoiding? If you're like Devin, you might just need a little bit more time to craft a thoughtful and clearly communicated message. That's fine, but at least acknowledge the email and let the other person know, I've received your email, and I need 2 or 3 days to think about this. I'll get back to you by, and insert a date. Then, schedule time to craft your response, let it marinate for a day or two, and give yourself some time to be able to craft a really clear message. And then, when you're ready to send it, you'll have already given yourself the time with the person waiting, and they'll know when to expect it. Now, let's say you're the person waiting for the acknowledgement. This is a little bit more challenging because you can't control the person at the other end. But what you can control are your thoughts. Unlike Devin, he let his mind ramble and come up with all kinds of crazy assumptions about how he missed the mark on a proposal or how he wasn't the right candidate for a job when he was contacted by a recruiter and then subsequently sent in his resume. Avoid the temptation to make assumptions and to assume the worst, thinking that it has anything to do with you. Most of the time, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. It simply is the nature of life and business. There are probably 1,000 different variables that could contribute to why someone hasn't responded to your email. Give them the benefit of the doubt. And when you feel the pressure, the intenseness of the feeling of wanting to reach out to them, give yourself a little bit longer and get through this high emotional state that you might be in. Because if you're feeling emotional, if you're feeling a little bit miffed or angry or disappointed, get through that emotional state and get to a point where you're more clear-headed and less emotional. Then, when you've crafted a clearly and articulately expressed email, then you can send it and follow up and touch base with that person and find out and ask them, why haven't you responded to my email? But do it in a very democratic and non-threatening manner. Wait just a little bit longer than you normally would to follow up and get out of that high emotional state so that you can think clearly and write a great message. Okay, while you're here, I'd love for you to give me a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. Also, subscribe to my channel, like my fan page, and please follow me on Twitter, connect with me on LinkedIn, pin with me on Pinterest, +1 me on Google+. That's this week's episode of Level Up. I am your hostess, Wendy Nolin, saying I will see you on the flip side.